Hi and welcome back to another video. Earlier this year I took a trip to Hong Kong for the Lunar New Year period with my family. Now yes, Lunar New Year was half a year ago and I have sat on this footage for a while, not being sure how to edit this. The reason for this is that since it was a family trip, I prioritized spending time and being present, which meant that I didn't have a lot of A-rolls. However, I did take a lot of photos, which is why for this video I have taken heavy inspirations from another YouTuber, Tia Crawford, which I've been watching a lot recently and have felt heavily inspired by his mixed media vlogging style. So I hope you enjoy the extra effort that I've put into this video and the following videos, and let me know if you like this editing style more. So before the trip even started, my subscription to Premiere Pro had ended, which I only found out on the flight. That meant the time that I wanted to be productive was no longer an option for me, but with hindsight, it does seem like that was the better option as I got to relax and really enjoy the flight. Additionally, another problem I ran into was that my iPhone was running out of storage, and that was my main camera that I used to film these videos. I had to get used to filming with my Ricoh, which is a camera that's not really designed for video recording. The one thing that I have always admired about Hong Kong is its efficiency and the excellent public transport infrastructure. You can see that I was excited by this and that it was one of the first things I took a photo of. For some context about myself, I have civil engineering background, so seeing how another place build and plan these infrastructure is very fascinating to me, especially stuff like the bamboo scaffolding, although it is a shame that these will be made obsolete soon. Now, as an Australian, we don't really have a lot of activities after dinner, but when you are in Asia, that means there's definitely going to be some nightlife. As dinner was located in the Kowloon area, there were heaps of shopping options, and I wanted to see what kind of shopping they would do for Lunar New Year and what kind of local markets there were that were still open. You're probably thinking that since it's the end of the day, I would be tired, especially after being on a flight, but no, we are not going to bed yet. The day is still young. On the day that I arrived, it was actually the last day of that Lunar New Year. What usually occurs is that people would go to a temple to either repay their praise from the beginning of that Lunar New Year or are trying to pray as early as possible. For us, it was the latter, so we are heading over to a well-known temple in Hong Kong to pray. It's a running gag within my family that we try to be the first person to pray and place our incense, but we've never been close to being the first, so... Since it is Lunar New Year, most of the local shops are closed as people will be taking the time to visit family or will be resting. This will be the case for most of the day on this trip, which meant that we had to do some clever planning around what we wanted to do. Or that's what we thought when we headed outside of Hong Kong CBD. What we didn't consider was that everyone else was also having a day off and also wanted to do similar activities that we wanted to do. What this ended up happening is that we waited in line for a very long time, especially for this cable car, which took around an hour to 2 hours to get on, but that gave me the opportunity to take some photo around and just people watch. After returning to Hong Kong CBD, we tried to watch the Lunar New Year parade at Tsim Sha Tsui, but had no luck as people had been waiting all day to watch it. From what I could barely see, it seems to be similar to the parades across different countries I've been to, but the only main difference is that there's different cultural acts and different societies walking through it. I would say that I wasn't particularly excited for this anyway, so missing out on this and heading back to the hotel to rest was a much better idea. Lantau. What a cool little island this was. Hopefully I was able to capture and show my awe for these footages and photos. I've seen these scenes in so many TVB shows when I grew up, and finally I'm able to see it with my own eyes. It's so hard to believe that in a city like Hong Kong, there are people living a much slower life and a much more different life. What I did notice is the increased usage of bikes and how the houses are still so close to each other. This was a breath of fresh air for the trip, as it's been pretty bad weather. The weather was like a paid actor. You know, the colors really helped inspire me, and it was a great change of scenery which provided me heaps of inspiration. As part of the many festivities for Lunar New Year, the one that I didn't want to miss the most was the fireworks. At Victoria Harbour used to have more fireworks show, but it's been reduced significantly due to safety controls, which is why I felt the need and quite fortunate to be able to see it. Now, this was combined with the fact that we couldn't really grab more food at Chongjiao just because of how there were so many people there that weekend, so then we just decided to go back and start looking for food on Hong Kong Island. I've always said that Sydney's New Year firework is one of the world's best. But after watching this one and the magnitude of it, I do have to say that it is up there with one of my favourite fireworks shows. I feel like I was very lucky in finding this spot to watch just by simply looking at a map and also getting lost, which made it feel much more worth it at the end. It felt like finding the treasure at the end of a maze. I have never been interested in horse racing, nor understood the hype for it. However, this was the first race of the year, and as a tourist, it meant that we could come and watch for free. Before we got to the race course, we went around the local area, Sha Tin, and just tried to look for breakfast in the area. Quite an interesting area. This is within new territory, which is a more residential areas. I do have to say, I expected a lot of people to be dressed up, but that must be just a Western culture thing, as everyone was quite casual. This made it quite a welcoming environment, and I got to experience what I guess a sporting event in Hong Kong would be like. Sometimes I wish I had more guts to take photos of random people, just because I felt like there were so many emotions that I could have captured at the showground. It kind of feels like a missed opportunity, but at the same time, I really enjoyed just focusing on the horse racing. As we weren't able to have some seafood when we were at Chuanzhou, my parents really wanted to try Hong Kong seafood. So just close to us in the Sha Tin area, there is a fishing village close by, so we caught a bus to get there directly. So we are now in Segong, another fishing village. What's interesting and what we didn't really see much are these fish shops on boats. So on a normal day, there'd typically be more than just these two, but there was just these two on the day. But I do have to say, some of my best photos actually came time here. I'm not sure why the photos turned out so good, maybe because of the sun, but I feel like just how colourful and just how many subjects there were around made it really easy to take some good photos. Since this video is already so long and the editing process have taken so long, I decided to split this into 2 parts, so here's a snippet for part 2.